Today we're visiting Misfat. Misfat al Abriyyin is a village in the mountains of Dakhliya government. It lies about 1,000 meters above sea level. Being high up in Oman is always good because it means cooler temperature in the summer months. The kids are waiting for this pool to be filled. It gets drained from time to time and then they refill it. So right now it's just being plugged, and then once it's full, the kids will go swimming. We've come to go walking along the fellage that surrounds Misfat, and it's indicated by this W9 sign which shows the walking route that follows the fellage. The route is actually pretty easy. There are a couple steps along the way, but it's relatively flat. And what you'll see is most of the way that we actually just decided to walk along the fellage itself and not along the path, the walking path. The fellage is an irrigation system that's been in use in the area for around 500 years. I understand the technology is about 5,000 years old. So most of the walk, we're just walking along the fellage itself. There is actually a path that runs parallel, but we thought it'd be nicer to just walk along the fellage because we can just walk on the banks of it. And also we've got shade from the palm trees along the side. As you're walking, you can take in some very nice views. When we were there, it was quite quiet, so we had it all to ourselves. I know sometimes you'll get groups of tour buses that will come, so that probably won't be as enjoyable. But luckily, when we were there, we only came across a few people and pretty much felt like we had the place to ourselves. Here in this spot, you can see the fellage, actually they split this rock to get the water to run through the center of it. Pretty much it's pretty flat. That's the only time I saw where they had to do some construction or deconstruction to adjust the flow of the water. Depending on how the path is going and how the vegetation is, we sometimes crisscross from one side to the other, but it's, as you can see, it's a pretty easy walk. You kind of feel in the beginning you're walking on a balance beam, but actually it's not that bad. It's not too narrow. When we went out, we walked for about half an hour in one direction, then we just kind of sat, had a drink, had a chat, cooled off for a little bit, and then we walked back. I don't think it's that long, this section. When we went back, we then ended up having lunch back at the guest house. I did see some people hiking in with coolers and things, so it looked like they were planning to stay for a while and eat out al fresco, but I don't think it's really that necessary. From what I can tell, this section is not such a long walk. You can easily just bring a bottle of water, go out, and then when you go back, you can just eat back at the hotel instead of having to carry things with you. We started walking about 11 a.m., so the sun was starting to get quite high, and this was in late August. But again, one of the benefits of being so high up is it really wasn't that hot or humid compared to how it would be on the closer to the sea level. And with the shade from the trees, it was actually relatively pleasant. And so if you were here doing it like in the winter months, say December to March, that would be quite pleasant. You could probably do it quite easily at any time during the day. August is one of the hotter months, so for it to be okay for us, I would say definitely in the winter months, you could do it at any time. Now we're coming to the end of the walk. We're about to go back into the town, so there are the stairs that kind of lead us up into the village. You can see some of the older brick buildings here. It's quite nice. You can see a lot of the trees. It's lush vegetation, some banana plants, as well as the palms. It feels like our hotel was an old fort. There were a lot of stairs and they were tricky to navigate. So one thing I would recommend is if you're staying in the area, because of the nature of the houses and the guest houses you have, double check about accessibility issues if that's something that might concern you. The views are spectacular, so certainly worth the effort to get to the top. Thanks for joining me on this trip to Misfat. Hope you enjoyed the views and the walk along the fellage, and hope you'll consider checking out one of my other videos of places and things to see in Oman.